Right, I am going to be repairing my van with this awesome XTOOL D9 Pro scan tool. Awesome. Right, as you can see, look, it has been well used. What I always thought, look, nice background, a broken Insignia engine, you know. What I thought was, rather than just, you know, getting out of the box and doing a video straight away, I might as well use it, because you can test its, you know, characters, what you like about it, what you don't like about it. And when you just rip it out the box and do it straight away, you're not going to know these things. So you can clearly see this thing has been used. And before I actually get onto the tool, so basically this is the D9 Pro, obviously all touchscreen, wireless, all the usual stuff. It's got all the OBD1 connections in here, look, for practically every single car going, which is really nice just to have. And what else do we have? So obviously there's a lot of things I really like about it, and there's a couple of things I don't like about it, like the charger, for example. I like the way they give you a proper charger, because normally nowadays they just give you the USB, they don't give the actual plug. We have the plug, but there's two types of chargers for this. So you've got a twin USB, which I just don't particularly like. Why couldn't you just use a USB-C? Or you've got the that style of adapter, which is in here, which again, oh no, that's the twin USB one. Oh, that's off the other one. So you get that style adapter, and I just personally don't like it. The reason why I don't like it is twin USB, you can get them fairly handy, but these connections you can't. USB-C, they're everywhere. They're in practically every single petrol station, everything. That's the only real kind of pet peeve I have with it, to be honest. Just the charger, but it's not the end of the world. I would just prefer it to you know, have a USB-C charger. What's also really nice about this, it also supports online programming. I've also done a couple of keys with it. I've done a key for a Ford Focus as well. Really handy, really nice, which again, you know, it's just a future proof for the future, because this does a lot of stuff that, you know, when the cars are 3 or 4 years old, you're going to need really in a scan tool. The online programming is a real key feature of that. It also has DOIP, and it has CAN FD on it as well, which again is more of a future proofing for this. It also has 3 years free updates, which on kind of the big scan tool is quite unheard of. You know, normally you only get like a year. I've got the smaller XTOOL one as well, and that's free lifetimes update. But this essentially, for the price of it, it pretty much does everything. Now, there is not one scan tool out there that does everything, but what I mean by that is, for the price of this, is cheaper than what I can see most of the other scan tools for this size are, and it has a lot more features, which, you know, is good, and it has a 3 years free update. And I also think there is a discount code I can get for it as well, so I'll leave that down in the description. But rather than me banging on about it for much more, what we're going to do is we're just going to physically plug it into a few cars, and we're going to see, because the stuff that's in this I really like. I want to show you what I really like is the fact, and I've said it on a lot of my videos, one of the most important data PIDs to have is battery voltage. This shows you the battery voltage all the time, constantly, which is just absolutely bloody awesome. I also like how the actual interface works. And I also like how the pages work, and I'll explain all that when we actually plug it into a car and you can actually see what I'm talking about. It also has topology on it where, and again I'll show you, but it will show you what it can communicate with, what modules, and even what modules are on what line. I did a car recently, it was at, I think I filmed some of it, I can't remember. If I did, I'll put video clips in. If not, I think I've actually done it for a separate video, because I have done lots of separate videos on this. you know, me using it for, you know, proper diagnostics. So I've done that, and there's a video coming up where the car, it stopped and start. So it just, the guy was driving down the road, it just completely went on him, and it'll only stop and start for a couple of seconds. And it was the ABS module. But what was really good on the topology of this, it wasn't communicating with the ABS module. And you can see when it doesn't communicate with something, you can see also what modules are on that line and how it can bring other stuff down. It's just one of them things. It's like a map. Imagine like a map of the car, and it shows you all the modules are and how they talk to each other. It's one of them things that really helps. It has it on the feature, so you might as well use it. Right, so like I said, look, this is what I really like about it. Constant battery voltage all the time. Absolutely brilliant. I've had my ignition on for a while, that's why my battery voltage is obviously low. But what we can do is we'll just go for a scan. Right, it's failed to do this one because it's an older vehicle, but it don't matter. We don't want exit engine, we want is it body? Hopefully it's in the body control module, what I'm looking for. Live data. Front door status open. Now, there we go. Rear door status open. And we come to the rear. That's not open. So, like I explained in the beginning, this is how I'm going to fix it with a bolt. So this is how I'm going to fix it with this fella. And I know you're thinking, well, hold on, that's no big deal. Well, it actually is a big deal that it thinks it's open, because one thing it does, when I actually have all the doors closed and I drive off, the doors automatically lock, right? But when I then open just the driver's door, what should happen is all the doors should open, but they don't. So when I've left the keys in the ignition and I go round to get, you know, this in the side of the van or in the passenger side because I want to get my tools, fucking doors are locked, which is really frustrating. It won't activate the alarm properly, and it just causes issues. And with live data, it is well, not vitally important, but with live data, look how easy it is to see this. Rear door status open. It just isn't open. The thing that's really annoying, all the doors are closed, the ignition is off. I turn the lights on, and it's beeping because it's telling me there's a door open, but there isn't a door open. It's bloody annoying. So with some good old-fashioned silage tape, all I need to do is just try and do this one-handed. Tape that up on there. I'll do this better, I'm just doing this for the camera. And now that's made that a lot thicker, so when it comes down here to hit this, it's going to push this in, and it's going to be a million times better. I put some tape on there before. Why did I do that? Oh yeah, to stop that from coming out. Tape's been on there for a while, but anyway, now let's see if it works. Right, and look, my lights are on, my ignition is off, and there is no beeps. We have sorted it. Awesome. Right, so we have a 2011 Ford Focus, and we've got intermittent issues happening with this. It says engine malfunction, it's kind of spluttering, it's kind of farting, it's kind of sometimes goes, sometimes doesn't, does all sorts of weird things. I think I know what it is. I think it's an issue with the clocks, but we're going to find out. And this is where it comes to a couple more of my little niggles. So I would prefer this lead to be longer. Now you can get an extension for it, so it's not the end of the world, but that's kind of the length of the lead. And this sticks just underneath the dash, so you know it's not a long lead. And the other little thing, this is the last little thing now, is this bar here. When you got no fingernails, like I've just cut my fingernails, it's really awkward to get out. But that really is essentially it. Nothing really to moan about. Obviously you got a full tablet as well. I need to go into the software here. Right, do an auto scan, should pick it up, it's new enough. And look, again, we have the battery voltage. I love that. I really love that feature. Also, it tells us that we are connected to the Bluetooth. We've got a tick there as well, so that's also another handy thing. Right, this is the topology that I want to talk to you about. Now, as you can see, we've got a lot of different sections, and I'm not going to go through them all on every car because it'll just take too long. But you can see we can do a lot with different cars. What I'm going to do is just do an auto scan. Now, this is the topology. Now look at this. So this will show me all of the modules and what they are connected to, which is really handy. Depending on the color, you've got a little code up here. Depending on the color of what it does, that's when you know there's an issue or not an issue. For example, look, we've already got one with the instrument cluster. There we go, instrument cluster IC. So I've got a feeling this is going to be instrument clock's fault. But it's just so nice to have this. It will also tell us how many fault codes we've got so far. But what it also does, which I really like, once it's actually finished its code, or once it's finished looking through, we can do a full report. So we don't have to go into each individual one. We can do, but we don't have to. So let's just wait for it to finish what it needs to do, and we will. Right, so we can do a full report, and there we go. Look, we've got everything coming up. Now, we do have a low fuel pressure, but again, you have to be careful with low fuel pressure, because if it is the clocks that is an issue, for example, then it can actually lose fuel pressure, if that makes sense, because, you know, it cuts out. So just be aware of that. Now, not necessarily is this clock issues, but this video isn't for diagnosing this car. I just wanted to show you some of the things. I might do a separate video on this, but you can see with this, it's very handy to get a full report quite quickly, and then we can go back and we can go into each individual module if we want, and then we can look at live data, we can read the codes, you know, we can do the special functions, whatever the special functions are for that particular module, which is really handy. So we'll read the trouble codes in this one. We know we only had one, so there we go. We go to live data. Again, we're just in one module now, so you know, you can do all that. But again, what I really like about the live data, this is not going to have a big huge list compared to, say, like an engine is, but I want to show you something that I really like about this live data. Interesting, this does not want to communicate with the clocks. So just like I thought, I think we do have an issue with the clocks. So I'm going to get out of this. I'm going to go into another live data, because I just want to show you why I like the way they have the live data set up. Also happens is when the battery voltage is too low, this thing starts beeping at you to warn you, just in case you maybe have it the wrong way or you're not looking at it. It actually warns you, which is just handy. And also, normally when you have a communication error with the clocks, you normally have it in a few more modules, and I'm really not seeing it. So I don't know, but it was weird how we couldn't communicate with the dash clocks when we went into it. But this is what I wanted to show you with the live data. So again, look, we've got special functions. We can do lots and lots of different things depending on the car, depending on the module. But what I like about the live data is it's not in a page form, it's in a list form. So in other words, look, you see how I scroll down here? Now, the more you have open, yes, the slower it is. That's like anything. But what's really handy is if you select lots and lots of data PIDs, when you go between the pages, it can take a few seconds and you can miss something. Where when it's a full page like this and you scroll down, up and down, you don't so much have that lag, which is just so much better. And what we can do here is we can press buttons, we can make it go to, you know, a graph. We can zoom in, we can zoom out, you know, you can do all sorts depending on what you're looking at, depending on what data it is. You know, we can select things here and do a custom, because we've got 63 data PIDs at the minute, so we can select a few things, and we can have a custom page here, and then, you know, we can do what we want. You know, we can change them, analyze, just, you know, whatever you happen to prefer or like. You know, there's just loads of things we can do. It shows minimum and max, you know, all the stuff you really need to make your life a lot easier to diagnose stuff. Also, you know, change this and customize it to how you want. What's also is kind of cool, we have a flashlight here, so I can turn on the flashlight, and as you can see, we've got a little flashlight, which, you know, if you're looking for an OBD2 plug or something like that, it's just kind of handy. Special functions, these are like, I just kind of class these as shortcuts, because if you go into, say, whatever car you're happen to go into, this, what you can do with it is already in that module. It's just, this is a shortcut version, and you can see just the amount of things that this can do, which is really, really handy. And again, it's future proofing the stuff. They even now, this is really handy, this car will even program all the computers and stuff, you know, for lane assist and for all that. And this company also sells the tool to actually do that. So I'm going to see, and maybe we can get the tool, and maybe we can actually show you how to set up all the cameras and do absolutely everything properly. This is just going to be a quick overview, and then all the videos I've got coming up actually using this in anger. Right, I've taken out the clocks, and this is, give you some reference, hold on. This is the clocks here. This is where the clock actually goes into at the back, or the wires go into at the back, and this is the dry solder joints. Now, when you look at most of them, you might think kind of okay, but you look at on the bottom, number 2, you can see it's number 1 and 2 on the bottom is cracked. Then you got these 2 here are cracked, and when you look down here at the bottom again, so you've got one, that one's cracked, the top one there is cracked. You get a screwdriver. That one is cracked. Them 2 are cracked. That one is cracked. That one is cracked. That doesn't look great. So you can clearly see that we do have some dry solder joints. And like I said that before I even plugged it in. It wasn't giving me the traditional error codes for the clocks, to be fair, but the driving of it and what the customer is telling me just led me to the clocks. But the error codes weren't the traditional error codes for the clocks. But if you also remember, we couldn't get into the live data, we couldn't actually communicate with this properly. So I kind of just thought it was the clocks, that's why I ripped them out, and as it turns out, we do have some dry solder joints. So I'm going to make these solder joints a million times better, and then we'll put it back in and we'll see, can we communicate? Right, okay, so we just plugged it back in. I don't know if you just saw that there, but it did ask us to set the time and date, but we're not worried about that. What I'm worried about now is making sure, does the car start and does all the gauge works? We obviously know the middle part works, but let's just, it's not even plugged in properly. You can see, look, it's hanging down. But ignition lights come on, everything appears to be working. Turn the indicator off. So that's a good sign. So what we got to do now is plug it in and see, can we now communicate with it? Right, and you don't need to do a full scan. We can just select our, you know, just whatever system we want. So I am going to do that just in this case. So can we, oh look at that, boom, straight away, in, instantly in, boom. We couldn't do that before. So that is bloody awesome. So I have a funny feeling that this car is now fixed. So we can read the fault codes. Oh, that's the that's the information for the module. Trying to look through the camera and do it at the same time. So we can erase, that's a stored fault. We can erase all these fault codes now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do another full scan. I'm going to erase everything and should be good to go. Right, and there we go. They've all erased. So, will it start? We have no error codes coming up. We can do oh yeah, you can also list them, look, as well. But again, when you this is the thing with the topology. When you list them, you can't really see what's going on. When you do the topology, you can see exactly what's going on. But this, we got to take this for a test drive, but I've got a feeling this is fixed. So it's amazing, you know, when you see things like fuel pressure codes, and you know, this is the thing with cars. You can't just go into one module. You need to do a full module scan, and this proves it, because this car does feel like it's running out of fuel. It feels like a fuel issue when you have issues with the clocks, right? So you then just go onto your PCM and you think, oh look, there's a fuel issue, let's try and diagnose that. You're never going to get anywhere, because in this case, most probably the fuel is okay. It was the clocks. But it gives the same kind of symptoms to the driver as if it's starving for fuel. When you do a full scan, you can see in all the modules, and you can get a better picture of what's going on. It'd be like, you know, if you're feeling sick, there's no point, if you're feeling sick in your stomach, there's no point the doctor just looking at your hand, because, you know, you've got to look at everything to get a full picture. And it's the same with cars. And with this topology, it just gives you a full picture really quickly and really nice. I do wish there was like a reset button, so I could just go reset and or a rescan, sorry, and it would do a rescan. I don't think there is, so you just have to go back out and then kind of go back in. If there was, and I'm sure that would be really easy for them to put in software, just to actually physically write the software. But this is still started, and I just want to see, does it go through everything? I'm more worried about this. I see, there we go, perfect. Look, there's nothing wrong with this. All the gauges are working. I can see the temperature gauge is moving, the fuel gauge, the rev counter. Obviously, I don't know if the mile an hour is working, but I presume it is. I'll find out when I take it for a test drive. But there we go. Right, we're in a Toyota 2015, and this is one of them. Ooh, what is it again? It looks like it's a Aqua. And is this the one with the really cool roofs? I think it is. Let me have a look. It is. It doesn't show on camera, but the roof has got a few kind of lines in it, and it just looks pretty cool. Now, there's nothing particularly wrong with this, in the sense of, I think the engine, everything is okay. There's just a leak in it somewhere, a water leak, but it's not really. I just want to see what this can do for this particular car, so I'm just curious to see what we've got for it, essentially. Oh, the engine light is on. The engine light is on. Oh, there we go. I think it said, yeah, it won't read the code. So can we do it manually? See, rather than putting in the rather than actually putting in the can we do it this way? Oh, that's just gonna, right, I'll have to put in the unless we go to Japan. Ah, there we go. This is 2015. There we go. We'll do a full scan and we'll see. See, I like you can zoom in and out, because as you can see, when this started off, we were missing a few, so you can zoom in and out, which is quite nice. Oh, we've actually got quite a few error codes in this, so maybe we've got more issues than just a water leak. We will find out. Okay, we'll do our report, and yeah, we've got coolant issues. Got a lot of history fault codes. Failure to start, that's current. even though the engine just literally switched itself off, so I know it starts. So we've got a few issues here, but like I said, what I'm curious is I just want to see you know, what we can do, like special functions. What special functions are there in this particular one? What can we do? What can't we do? What can we see? What can't we see? Okay, so we can do actuator test. What actuators can we perform? Okay, nice. Oh, we can actually activate the water pump. So let's see if we can do that. So, can we... actually, no, we don't want to monitor at all. Just... try... I can't hear anything. Hold on, let me turn the heater off. Right, I can't hear anything, so I'm wondering, do we have an electric? This is another good thing about, you know, bi-directional controls. It allows you to do this rather than guessing. I'm wondering, do we have an issue with the water pump as well as a leak? So I couldn't hear that kick in at all. But again, this video isn't for diagnosing of this, even though technically I have fixed the last two vehicles, but I wasn't planning to. I was just quickly plugging it in. So let's see again. So we've gone through the actuator test. We'll just have a quick look to see what we can and can't do again. So yeah, there's a lot. Cylinder cut, yeah, it's quite good. And again, whatever the car allows you to do, this machine will do it. So it will only allow you to do what the car is capable of doing. I know I've already gone into special functions, but I just wanted to quickly go into it again. So we can learn to just check the VIN. Okay, so we'll see if there's any freeze frame. There is. Oh, there is on this one. So let's see what that says. See if we can get anything from, because again, freeze frame data can be important. So vehicle load. So it was driving, but only just because the temperature was very cold. 36 kilometers an hour. So it was obviously a cold start, I'm thinking. Okay, fuel trims, interesting. Look at the fuel trims. Okay. Now, I'm not going to say anything, but looking at them fuel trims, is there any cause for alarm there? I'll let you argue that in the comments. I will be doing a video on this, so don't worry. Okay. Oh no, I didn't want to press that. Sorry, let's go out. So let's just have a quick look at what live data. We've got 164 PIDs, which is quite a lot. Just have a quick look. And you can see with all this, with all the more information you have, you know, the easier it is to diagnose something. Customer information is key as well. You know, test drive it yourself to you know, see if you can recreate the problem, and that'll give you more feedback. But again, this is just a quick look at just, you know, what the machine can do for, actually, that's just engine. Let's go into the hybrid side of things, see what, because, you know, hybrids are going to be kind of vehicles, you know, they're going to be a lot more common, you know, soon, and it's be interesting to see what we can and can't do. So we can cooling fan for the battery, that's really handy. The active pump, okay, so battery, okay, so there's some really good, oh, I pressed it twice. There's some really good stuff in here. Did I go to actuator or special functions? I can't remember. Inspection mode, that's handy too. That's handy. Inspection mode is very handy. So let's just look at live data and see. Again, I don't think, well, hold on, no, we do have error codes for we do have error codes for this module, don't we? Just curious to see. B+, okay. I'll have to remember this when I actually come to do some diagnosing on this. 244 data PIDs we've got. So obviously, I'm not going to go through them all, but I just want to quickly see something. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to quickly find something, and then I'll turn the camera back on. This is what I wanted to find, the actual battery blocks. I'm going to be doing videos on, you know, what to look for, because these data PIDs here are vitally important, especially if you've got an issue with the battery pack. You know, they're vitally important to know what to look for, because it doesn't take a lot of voltage differential to cause an issue. You might look at it and think, oh, that's close, you know, that's not that far away from each, you know, block V and block 1 and block 2. You might, oh, that's kind of close, that's not an issue, and it could be potentially a huge issue. So and up here we have the voltage as well. Yeah, so again, look, loads and loads of data PIDs, loads and loads of stuff to go through. Just too difficult to, you know, just do it in a short kind of run through of it. But again, I'm going to be filming doing this car, so once you actually see the video, you know, and I filmed a lot of videos that I haven't released yet using this tool and kind of using it in anger. I just wanted to kind of show you like a quick overview of it, so you can see, and then you can hopefully enjoy the rest of the video. So as always, hope it helps. Please like, share, comment and subscribe. Don't forget, links up here, links down below, but most important, don't forget, get your hands dirty. See you for the next one. Sorted.